You are losing a war right now and you cannot feel a single cut. Every second, millions of assassins breach your walls and your military has no generals. How does a body with no brain cells fighting survive attacks from enemies that evolve every 20 minutes? The answer is a defense system so brutal it would be classified as a war crime if humans designed it. What if I told you the assassins already know your every weakness and have been studying your defenses longer than you have been alive? Every virus that ever infected your ancestors left a blueprint for how to kill their descendants. Innate immunity shreds intruders like a meat grinder, and your cells scream in silence every time it fires. Cells do not ask for identification. They dissolve anything that is not stamped with your molecular signature. The paradox is that this mindless meat grinder is also the only reason you survived your first breath. But a mindless weapon cannot distinguish a civilian from a soldier when the uniforms look identical. I breach the perimeter. I find the gaps. I slip through. Inflammation is not a symptom. It is a battlefield tactic that drowns invaders in acid and burns your own tissue as collateral damage. Every fever you have ever felt was your own cells deciding that burning you alive was the mathematically optimal strategy. This was just the border patrol. What happens when the real army arrives changes everything you think you know about surviving. And I am already inside the fortress. Macrophages are the suicide soldiers of your body. They swallow enemies whole, digest them alive inside acid chambers, and die in the process. Each macrophage kills maybe 20 invaders before its own acid destroys it from the inside, and that is considered a victory. They swallow us whole. We dissolve from inside. We adapt, always. Antigen presentation is how I get caught. Your cells rip apart my dead soldiers, hold up my face like a wanted poster, and scream for the kill squad. That wanted poster reaches every T cell in your body within hours and activates the most precise assassination network ever engineered. Helper T cells are the generals that never touch a weapon. They read the intelligence, but issue kill words here. Billions activate. One antibody type cannot touch a different invader. If the lock does not fit, the missile flies blind and your body manufactures a new key from scratch. The 5-day delay while your body manufactures these missiles is the window where pathogens either win or lose the entire war. 5 days is an eternity when I can replicate 1 billion copies of myself in 20 minutes. The math is not in your favor. Memory cells are the black box recorders of every war your body has survived. They store the exact missile forever. No 5-day wait. Your thymus is the training academy where every T-cell graduate must pass one test, identify friend from foe or face immediate execution. And Fruckurts fail that test but in Nargan combat. Your body murders its own soldiers to protect you from friendly fire. Complement proteins punch holes in enemy cell walls like microscopic artillery, and you have never heard their name. Cell bleeds out. Natural killer cells patrol your body like plainclothes police. They do not need a warrant or wanted poster. They just sense when a cell has gone rogue. Control killer cells, execute them on the spot. We're going undercover. IgG antibodies are the heavy infantry. If they cross a blessed, they find wrong charge. Every surface defended. Your immune system is not a wall. It is a self-evolving weapons program that rewrites a Q and M in your cells. But every weapons program has a vulnerability, and I have been mapping yours since before you were born. Cytotoxic T cells are the executioners. They do not capture, they do not cancel an inject, which is a programmed death sentence delivered molecule by molecule. It was programmed from birth to obey that exact death order, and it dismantles itself with mechanical obedience while you feel nothing. Toll-like receptors. Pattern detector. First alarm sounded. Dendritic cells are the intelligence officers. They capture enemy fragments from the front lines, physically travel to your lymph nodes, and present the evidence to the generals. If I destroy the dendritic cells before they reach the lymph nodes, the generals never see the evidence and the kill order never arrives. That is exactly how HIV wins. Lymph nodes swell because they are war rooms under siege. Billions convene. I hide. I mutate. Unrecognizable. Cytokines are the battlefield radio network. One cell base send a molecular signal that travels faster than nerve impulses. Your own generals scream so loud for reinforcements that the army drowns your organs in friendly fire and you die from the rescue. The paradox is that shutting down the storm means shutting down the defense, and choosing which fire to let burn is a math problem with your life as the variable. Every single soldier born here. Endless supply. MHC molecules are the ID badges your cells carry. They block fragments of the sound like systemic security checkpoints. If I can block either display surface, the checkpoint goes blind and infected cells walk through invisible. Antigenic drift. Antigenic shift. Memory erased. The mucosal immune system is the largest battlefield you've never heard of. It covers 4 square miles from the state of the rest of your immune system combines. And I only need one breach point to establish a beachhead that your systemic reinforcements cannot reach in time.
Somatic hypermutation. Billions fail. One survives.
Vaccination is a controlled betrayal. You deliberately intervene so your army trains on a mock invasion and stores the blueprints before the real war starts. But I evolve faster than your blueprints update. Every vaccination is a snapshot of an enemy moved on, and the gap between your stored damage and faces a win-where infection. Your bone marrow produces every blood cell. Red thin specks are caught in, blanky cells, blind trust. Let's zoom in. The complement Akisgas works like a row of anthemas with an ample chain reaction. Here's the step you missed. The step you missed, as cascade amplifies the surge action triggering toward the trans target inside Chancomsu. Let's zoom in further. Without regulatory proteins, this cascade would dissolve your own cells. Here's the control step that prevents your body from eating itself alive. If I produce decoy proteins that bind your regular litaramide stops, the cascade resumes through the block and your own I steal your membrane. Your immune cells scan the cloak and see their own molecular signature. Recovery. 90% die off. Memory survives. The immune response is a closed loop that pulses. Every battle trains to announce, and your defense becomes faster with each war you survive. A closed loop is only as strong as its entry point and the Akarimat piece that attacks your own tissue. Every advantage had all sending. The war in tin word. Tolerance broken. Regulators gone. Chaos authorized.
Here's how this shows up in your daily life. Type 1 diabetes and immune assassination of your pancreatic beta cells. There's insulin, so to destroy one balanced. The cruelest thing never to fall is decking. Eating the scuff for the noodles to tattoo and be sneeze and the stones from their
Latency. I sleep, I wake. Aging. Thymus shrinks. New recruits end. Mimicry. I wear your face. You attack yourself. Regulatory T-cells are supposed to be the peacekeepers. They suppress immune responses after the battle ends and prevent the army from turning on tissue. I only need to eliminate the peacekeepers, and your own soldiers will detisune with this Dumaiwan Comdura targeting to You thought megadosing vitamins would supercharge immunity? Excess vitamins suppress immune function, not raw volume. Your immune system does not want more ammunition. It wants the right ammunition in the right ratio at the right time, and flooding it with